10864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
This is back out for a three. Left wing is good.
In the air to center, back at the wall. It's out of here.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
Indoor track and field national champion.
Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
And for the fourth time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Thank you. It's a newsworthy day with some unfortunate updates for Oregon football as the Ducks offensive coordinator Joe Moorhead is back in Eugene, still recovering, but some injury updates. 2 starters for the Ducks, and Bennett Williams and C.J. Verdell will be done for the year, as Coach Cristobal said after practice today. The Ducks just wrapped up, if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, and we're going to begin today with Coach Cristobal's press conference in a moment. Then we're going to talk about some positive things with Coach Lombardi. Oregon softball head coach will join us because fall ball season begins for them at noon on Sunday. It's free at Jane Sanders Stadium. Some more details at GoDucks.com. And then Derek Radley, Oregon women's golf head coach, after a program record in their first tournament of the fall. We're going to talk with Derek Radley coming up in just a little while. All right. Mario Cristobal, first time that we have heard from him since the game at Stanford. Let's hear from the Oregon football head coach.
Being here, wrapping up practice number 3 for the bye week. Certainly a lot of work, getting after a lot of different situations, scenarios, and personnel groupings. So, open to questions.
How is Joe Moorhead?
Joe's getting better. Joe is in Eugene, and he's recovering. And our prayers and thoughts are with him, and our support is with him as well. So we're glad that he's finally home and getting better.
Is there a timetable?
Personnel-wise, to kind of account for his absence from the staff while you're practicing?
Yeah, well, Nate, Costa, being here, being a quarterback, and having worked with the quarterbacks, you could make those moves through compliance to absorb that. And Nate's super bright mind and an excellent football coach as well. So that certainly has helped out a lot.
Will Jim continue to call the plays while Joe's out?
Well, if Joe is out, that'll be the scenario, yes, sir. Now, when we do call it, obviously, everything we do, we collaborate. We do it collectively, as we did with Joe was here as well. So the system is a system. We're not going to change systems.
The severity of CJ's injury?
CJ will be done for the year.
Is there any initial thought of just his thought of what happens after the season in the future?
It's too early. There'll be some conversations about that. CJ is he's such a good player. He was really having his most physical game, I think. The way he was running, he was really getting downhill, running behind his pads. And unfortunately, he got, it was a low tackle, legal tackle. Nothing wrong with the tackle, but certainly suffered an injury, and so he'll be done for the year.
There's some guys who either have missed time or just missed this past weekend, Mario, so I realize there's quite a few names.
Sure. Well, Bennett will be done for the year as well. Who else missed time? Swinson looks good. Swinson, we feel he'll be completely ready to go this next week. He practiced with us this week, and he looks really good. Ajax looks good. Practiced with us as well.
Damon?
Practiced with us as well. Looks really good. He practiced last week. He was borderline ready for last game. At the last second, we felt that he wasn't quite there. The bye week has done him well. He'll be full speed.
Dawson
will be full.
Kingsley
will be full.
Dennis
is done. Dennis is done for the year.
Logan
will be a while before he's back.
Jaden Abbott?
Still a little while.
Jalen Smith?
He is practicing, but going to be a little bit.
Sean Dollars?
Going to be a while.
So, but you hold out hope because of he already redshirted that he could theoretically play for you at any time.
Yeah, there's certain guys. Let's see, like a Jackson LeDuc and a Sean Dollars. Your best case scenario is mid-November, late November. but that's not a guarantee. You know, it's gonna, when you have an injury as serious as those, you just want to make sure that when they do come back, that they're fully healthy to continue playing healthy.
And Drew,
with Verdell out, do you want to use Travis primarily, or do you want to have another running back to kind of fill that two tandem rotation that you guys have used at running back?
I think, you know, you want to play a hot hand. Travis is a workhorse too, and he has proven that in a lot of different ways. And Trey's coming off of an injury last year. He looks really good. Cardwell is going to be a good player. We all know Seven's a really good player. Got Cross Patton, you know, Aaron Smith. You got some guys that really worked hard and are ready for an opportunity. You know, and I think that we've adopted that mentality and that philosophy from the get-go. And guys have done a really good job stepping up and filling in for guys that have been injured and have missed time. And this situation will be very much like that.
Masters always said it's kind of the hot hand among those three freshmen, you know, behind CJ and Travis. Could that be the case, just week in, week out situational type deals?
You know, CJ and Travis have worked themselves into being complete backs. They can run inside, outside zone, pin and pull, the gap schemes, protection, screens, the empty stuff. They do it all really well. When you're a young back, you do some things naturally well, and then you continue to improve on some other things. Those guys are improving themselves at being really good all-around backs. They're explosive football players. They're hard workers. They're very resilient. We get after them really hard, and they've responded really well. So we have faith that they're going to be really good and help us win games.
if Jim's still calling the plays, will he still also be able to call the running back rotation too in game? I mean, that's just a lot in the course of a play to a play.
No, we'll have someone else assign to that. You know, we have enough staff members where, you know, there's an assignment for each position group and assign a go-to person, and so we'll be able to handle it.
Coach, I know you want to look forward, but it's the question on one play. On the the last drive in regulation, the pass was incomplete. Did Anthony Brown have the option, because Jalen Red was in the fly sweep, to hand that ball off, or was it totally designed for the pass? And then one other thing, Ryan Walk, it looked like he was assigned to hit the defensive end.
Which play? Are you talking about before the half, or
no, at the end of
regulation?
The incomplete pass.
Was it designed to what? I'm sorry.
Jalen Red was like in a fly sweep motion.
Right.
Was there an option for Anthony Brown to hand that to him?
That is not an option to hand. Not on that particular play. We do have a play where he is part of that as well.
And the
down to the distance, it was too much for it to be a hand, at least in our guesstimation.
Excuse me. And the defensive end was in the face of Anthony Brown. And I looked at it. Ryan Walk had to come all the way over because the guard and tackle were pulling left. Was that designed that way, or can you remember whether that was true?
Yeah, I think there's a couple different plays we're talking about here, but there was, from a play design standpoint, I mean, the guys did execute or try to execute their assignment, so there wasn't any mental bust. Execution certainly wasn't what it needed to be.
How do you evaluate, after these 5 games, Mario, the quarterback position and just how Anthony has performed and what competition there may or may not be there right now?
Sure. Well, you know, he's had some really good moments, some other moments where we need to improve upon, they'd like to have back. But he certainly gives us the best chance to win. And he's done enough in practice, and he's done enough in games. I think a lot of times, you know, when you have a game like this and things don't go well, it pours on people, but we don't do that. We believe our eyes, we work at it, we improve, we don't blind ourselves. Everything is always competition in practice, but Anthony has shown a lot, you know, and he's done a really good job in a lot of different ways, so, and he's going to improve and he's going to get better.
Certainly when he was here a year ago, he was an experienced hand as a backup. You have 3 freshmen by comparison, but statistically he is behind what Tyler was a year ago, and you guys look to make a change. Why, if it was not necessarily sufficient or satisfactory a year ago, is what Anthony is doing now put you in the best position to win?
Well, I think if you look at our games earlier this year, I think you'll see enough plays being made, leadership. You'll see him complete drives, and I guess you guys were there in Columbus, so I guess the rest, you know, you can put it all together and realize that right now it gives us the best chance to win. And I'm not going to publicly ever turn on a player or be negative about a player. We know what we grade, we know what we see, we know the issues, we know what has to get better, and we forge forward. But we don't play the blame game, we don't play the BS masquerade head faking game. We just get to work, and that's what we got to do.
You don't see practice, so we can't understand what he's like in practice. What does he do better than the other guys behind him? I'm not trying to say that as a negative way, but how would you express his level of play at quarterback that puts him where he's the guy?
It's been really good. You know, it starts and ends with how you run the offense, and by running it, it's everything. You know, it's making sure that we understand what the play is, whether it be a run, pass, the protection that goes with it, the route structure that goes with it, what determines who gets the ball, where his eyes got to go. If something does break down, where his outlets were, his check down. So every part of it, to be a quarterback, you have to understand it just like a coach does, and he does. And the young guys are doing a really good job too, so I don't want to take away from them, but he's done a really good job with that stuff, and he knows, and we know the areas that we all have to improve upon. And as coaches, we got to take it upon ourselves to make our players and give our players the best chance to perform better.
Not to use it as an excuse, but Joe not being available, how much does that factor in of helping Anthony and helping this offense perform better?
You guys know. You guys know. I'm never going to come up here and say we didn't have Alex and we didn't have blah, and I really don't care. At the end of the day, the ball's placed on the team, you go play. Does it affect them? Unfortunately, that's a narrative that I'm never going to take. That's something that you guys, as you do your things, you got to figure how you think that affects a guy. But I'm never going to speak on excuses. I'm not going to lean on rationalization. We're just going to go. We're going to work our butts off and get it done.
On that final possession of regulation, some of the snaps were early by way of the play clock. The preceding 4 games, even last year, you guys have done really excellent at that in terms of killing the clock as much as possible. Anything that could have been done differently, either coaching-wise or quarterback-wise, on that last possession before the back-to-back false starts?
No, well, remember, we got that ball. We started the drive with almost 7 minutes. Yeah. 7 minutes, we don't believe you go in a 4-minute offense. When we started churning out first downs, when we started milking it, and that was at the 4-minute mark, maybe a little bit above. The snaps were at 2 seconds, okay? And so we felt that we could keep doing that. When we got in 1st and 20, we're trying to get a chunk back to be able to at least put ourselves in a situation where, okay, it's either 3rd and manageable and we could do it and throw the ball, and it would be worth the risk, so they don't have to. So if we don't make it and they don't have to use a timeout, the risk was worth it, or get ourselves within 4th and doable, or we could take a chance and not worry about bringing on the punt team. So that's what we were trying to do on the we tried the bootleg where we're trying to get the ball to 7 in the flat. We thought we had a matchup there and in the boundary that you had enough room there to make some yards. But in terms of itself, I mean, we did everything like we felt would win the football game. We're getting first downs, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. You need 1 first down, and we didn't get it. But I think we ran 5 minutes plus out the clock. But you guys have those statistics.
Yeah.
Against Stanford, Anthony only threw the ball 20-plus yards downfield 1 time. Do you trust him to push the ball down the field?
Yes.
Coach, wonder if you could humor me here, because I've been hearing from a lot of fans the last few days. Stanford's last drive. KT gets the targeting. I've heard from people who thought he got pushed into the quarterback. It was a roughing. A couple flags on Stanford. People think they see video that flags should have been thrown that weren't. And then Mikel, standing his ground, looks like in the end zone, gets called for holding. Is there recourse for that? Do you just have to swallow that? What's the response to that?
What do you guys think?
Fair enough.
Where can I go? Where can I go with that and be productive at this point in time? You guys saw the game. Critical moments in the game, situations and results that really affected the game. So I'm going to stay along the lines of what I've told our players. We're moving on. We're moving on. It is what it is. I'll go with what Jimmy Johnson told us back in '88 before we went to play Notre Dame. Leave no doubt. Don't put in the hands of anything or anyone else. Leave no doubt.
In terms whether it's those 3 plays or otherwise, penalties were obviously an issue and were and have been so far. How do you guys go about correcting it? Because that has not been characteristic of your tenure, but this is obviously a tough 5-game stretch of penalties.
Yeah, especially the last drive, so you've got to correct it. You've got to work at it.
No excuses from Coach Cristobal. That is always the case with head coach Mario Cristobal meeting with the media after practice today. Your bye week updates and some unfortunate ones as the injury bug has really bit the Ducks. and hoping that C.J. Verdell and Bennett Williams will make their way back as soon as possible, along with a lot of other guys that are nicked up. I saw a question on the YouTube stream. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour about, does C.J. Verdell have eligibility left? Can Bennett Williams redshirt? All those conversations, as Coach noted, they're going to have those conversations, I think, moving forward. I think it's still a little too early probably to answer some of those questions. But could a medical redshirt be in the cards for guys like that after the injuries occur before the fifth game or in the fifth game? Yeah, I mean, I think that all of that's going to be on the table. Whether or not that's what's best for those in particular student athletes, I think that's what those guys are going to be figuring out here moving forward. So there's the updates during the bye week here for Oregon football. It's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with cancer care you can count on. And when we come back, we're going to switch gears, talk a little Oregon softball with head coach Melyssa Lombardi next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking. Now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. If you missed Mario Cristobal earlier, subscribe to the Oregon Sports Network podcast. Go back, watch the show on demand as well via the GoDucks YouTube and the Oregon, well, really every Oregon social media, I should say. I mean, you're going to find it somewhere. But Coach Cristobal with some injury updates there. But now I want to switch gears to Oregon softball because Sunday at noon, Oregon softball season, at least the fall season, begins. And we got a chance to catch up with Melyssa Lombardi. Chance to talk a little bit of Oregon softball. Fall ball starts Sunday at noon. That's right. Jane Sanders Stadium will have a team back in it, fans back in it, and we're looking forward to it. Head coach Missy Lombardi is here. Coach!
Hello.
How are things?
They're good.
Yeah, getting ready for fall ball. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have been up to in preparation for that first pitch coming up Sunday at noon.
Well, right now we're in our 8-hour weeks, so with those a little bit more broken down, more individual type stuff. So individually really getting caught up in offense, defense, pitching, and then starting to do some things together as a team.
What was the off season like? I mean, just go back in time for us because it was such an odd year last year, I think is a safe way to put it. What was the off season like for you guys?
Well, I would tell you the summer was really busy because we were able to finally get back to recruiting and going out and physically watching people. And I loved it. There's tournaments that I would normally only stay a couple days where I stayed almost the whole time.
Really?
Because I wanted to get back into it and get to see athletes in person. So we had that. We had, just our typical summer camps that we did. And then just this off season, I had to hire, some different people. So it was a very busy off season.
Did you, just how nice was it to be back on the road recruiting? I can only imagine what watching video and that's your only way of recruiting was like for coaches.
It was great. I really enjoyed it. I missed that part. I like being on the hunt and going to watch athletes play. And, as the summer gets further and further to the end, you get to the final tournaments and you really get to see some really, really good softball.
Let's talk about that new staff that you brought in. Their offices are down the hall from ours, and a familiar face, a familiar name. All in all, a lot of connections to Oregon softball. Tell us about your new coaching staff.
Well, Nikki Udria, who is now Nikki Reagan, because she just recently got married, has returned. He obviously was an All-American here, shortstop here. And she's somebody that I got to meet during my time coaching the national team. And she was a player on the national team, and her and I got to meet and connect, and from there just stayed connected. And when this opportunity arose, I called her. She's the one that I wanted. There's something about coaching at your alma mater and just the pride that you have as a coach, and I knew she would bring that. Nikki is an absolute competitor, and she wants to win. She's an excellent teacher. She's very knowledgeable. I just felt like our athletes would really connect with her in all different ways.
She's also, by the way, that Reagan last name, Johnny Reagan, former Oregon linebacker. So that's the latest in a lot of Oregon power couples from former student athletes. So no pressure to Nikki and Johnny, but there might be some future Ducks, right, in the wings. I guess we'll find out. Sam Martyr, too. Tell us about Sam coming in.
Yeah, and Sam Martyr, I've known her for a long time. I've coached against her a long time. She was at Texas Tech, and I don't know, I think as a coach, there's just people that are coaching against you that you just kind of follow from afar and understand when they're doing good things and they're successful when they're doing it. And like I said, I've known Sam and I've watched her from afar. And again, when I had an opportunity for her, I felt like it was another no-brainer. She was at Texas Tech, and then she went to Oklahoma this last year, and she got to work under JT Gasso. And I felt like she was a great coach to begin with, but then I just think her time spent there and some things that the analytics part that she was doing for them just really intrigued me, and I thought she would be a great fit for us as well. Her brother is here, Jack, he's our baseball coach, and then also her mom is close, and so I just felt overall it would be a great fit.
Yeah, the running joke now, of course, has been who's the better martyr.
Yeah.
But I think it might just have to be a tie. We're just going to have to just say that's a tie for our own sanity for the rest of the time that they're here, right?
Yeah, but it's been great. Sam has she's very knowledgeable on the offensive side, and the things that she's talking with our athletes right now, it's just been very interesting, and they've been very receptive, asking a lot of questions. It's been good. It's been nice.
Tell us a little bit about your volunteer assistant, too, Alyssa Palomino-Cardoza.
Yeah, Liz, she was another one that we've been talking with a little bit, trying to see if we could possibly get her over here. And she is a super, super senior like Haley Cruz. And just when she graduated, it's somebody we reached out to. And again, I think there's nothing better than having an athlete who just finished and knows how to compete in the pack, but is also currently playing pro ball. Age-wise, they're a little closer to our athletes. I think they're just that nice person in the middle to go from our athletes to them to me. Being older and out of it. I just think she's a great connection. She plays high standards, she's really good at what she does, offensively and defensively. She's a left-handed swinger, so I thought that's something that she could bring as well.
Sure.
But I think for volunteer coaches, it's a great opportunity because they're right in the middle of everything. And I think she's going to do a great job for us.
Her career at Arizona was something, the 2018 Pac-12 home run champion. Not too bad.
It's nice to have her over here versus going, oh, my gosh, here she comes again. We got to deal with this one. And she's been a great, all of them fit really well. They've all just settled in really nice. It's been great.
That's awesome. Melyssa Lombardi joining us, Oregon softball head coach. Fall ball begins on Sunday. So practice now then, you're getting full bore fall season, right? So this is really we talk about that this is the off season, but I'd imagine that the fall is really where you guys want to focus to get better in the spring. You got to have a great fall in order to have a great spring, right?
Definitely. You definitely have to have a great fall. It's good that you've got a strong foundation in the fall. I mean, if we're starting from the beginning, we're going to have too much work to do. I would tell you this team with us falling one game short in our regional last year, the urgency that they have as individuals and also as a team to come back this fall and really get after it, and knowing the things that they need to complete and do very well in the fall in order for us to be able to do the things we need to do in the spring. So
it's interesting. Like I feel like there's that old sort of cliche that it's like when you come so close and you lose, that's your motivation. Then the rest of the off season heading into next year, and it gets you over that hump. So it sounds like you've kind of seen that, because you guys had one of the most odd and crazy regionals I can think of in any sport ever.
Mm-hmm. I do. I mean, I think sometimes you just have to experience it. I mean, as coaches, we have all been there. And done that. Every single coach on the staff has gone to the World Series. Every single coach.
Boy, that's crazy.
It is. It's awesome.
How unique is that? Do you have an idea of how unique that is for the whole staff to have had that accomplished?
Yeah, it's pretty unique, I would think.
Oh, boy.
But I think
humble brag for Oregon, by the way. Humble brag, just real quick.
But we've been there. We've done that. And you can share things with your athletes, but sometimes they just need to go through it. They're hearing us, but then when they really go through it, I think sometimes that's when it really sinks in.
Yeah.
So falling short last year, it left a bad taste in our mouth, and just the urgency that this group has right now, that's what we need.
Yeah, I think that you got that that sour taste for sure around Oregon softball with the way that the season ended. And I really believe, we were thinking about this, all of the coaches have been to the College World Series, and apart from Nikki Udria, and she did it as a player here, the entire coaching staff's done it elsewhere. That's pretty rare, I feel like, around collegiate softball and sports in general. Coming back, we got more with Missy Lombardi, the Oregon softball head coach. We continue with her next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Exit Strategy, no matter which Toyota you choose, there's an exit from the ordinary to match. See you soon, Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
What's with Mountain Dew? Mountain Dew is like a zipline of incredible flavor directly into your brain. Mountain Dew is like getting punched in the mouth with pure neon refreshment that creates a neural explosion, sending flavor shards of electric brain pulses into your very core of being. Okay, maybe that's a little over the top, but you get the idea. The fact is, the mind-bending challenge of describing the taste of Mountain Dew is way harder than just experiencing it. That, of course, is easy. Just grab an ice cold Dew, crack it open, and toss them back. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Dear Exit Strategy, no matter which Toyota you choose, there's an exit from the ordinary to match. See you soon, Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s, like go back to college, learn to skateboard. Whoa. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. At aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a free 3-minute chat with the friendly digital retirement coach, Avo, and receive personalized tips to help boost your savings. Start chatting with Avo today at aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. We continue our conversation from yesterday with Oregon softball head coach Missy Lombardi before the Ducks begin fall ball Sunday at noon. Let's break down that roster with Coach Lombardi. Tell us about your team. Some faces that have moved on that have been staples of Oregon softball, but you've got a lot of great returners coming back. Just break down the roster for us generally before we get to some details.
Oh, goodness. Where do you want me to start?
I'll start infield. Let's start there.
Okay. You think about Tara and Rachel and Allie returning, and they've been here since day one. So just having that experience, I think they've done a really good job of leading our younger athletes and just new athletes. I think you're going to see, I think all three of them are going to have a good year this year.
That seems like is it safe to say that's the core, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of players that were in the middle of a lot of your lineups, important defensively.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a core group, isn't it?
It is. They've been here since day one. They know what the standard is, and they know how to lead. When they were younger, they didn't quite know exactly how to lead yet, and it's taken them a little bit, but they're in a great place as leaders. Our team looks to them as our leaders, and I just think individually, all three of them are going to have a really good year, for sure.
Who's battling with them? I mean, what's the competition like?
Paige Sinicki is a incoming freshman that can play in the infield. You look at KK Humphreys. She's a transfer from Fullerton. She's a middle infielder. She could also play corners as well.
She had a heck of a career at Fullerton, too.
Yeah, definitely. I think of Taya Bird was a freshman last year and has a year under her belt. Mm-hmm. And, I think we're going to be seeing some good things from her. So I would tell you the biggest thing this fall that we're going to see is there's so much friendly competition going around on the infield and the outfield, on the mound. So you can't kind of just show up one day. You better show up and bring it every day because there's others that are going to do the same.
It's going to be really weird for me to look out in the outfield and not see Haley Cruz for the first time in what seems like forever for Oregon softball. What's the outfield look like right now?
Yeah, Hannah Delgado last year, who was a infielder that we put into outfield, and she did great for us. I think Hannah Gailey is an athlete, too, that will be competing out there. Ariel had time out there. I think she's another one that you're going to see her do some really good things this year. I think she's going to have a big year as well. And then we have Kai Lashar. We have Kedri Lashar. They're sisters.
Mm-hmm.
They're both freshmen, but one is a transfer.
Right.
So they come into us as freshmen. Good speed, good range. I mean, we were working the other day at practice, and balls were being smoked to the gaps, and it's like, oh, catch, So maybe that's a ball that it's not dropping. So I feel like we're going to have a lot of good range in the outfield.
I appreciated earlier this week Ariel Carlson, the Oppo Taco show on social media. That, I'll be honest, when I saw that, I went like, oh, it's softball season now. Like, we're in the fall. It's fall ball, but it's still softball season. Missy Lombardi joining us, Oregon softball head coach. I haven't talked to you about your pitching staff.
Okay.
A lot of returners, a lot of really good options for you, it seems like, on the mound.
I like our options a lot. We've got two super seniors in Jordan Dale and Brooke Yanez, and I think those two are going to really lead the way. You have McKenna Clythermes that she was good. She was solid last year, but I think you're going to see her. It's interesting to see with our athletes and the things that they do. If we're doing things right, they come in their first year and you see them continue to do this from their first to their last, and I think that's something you're definitely going to see with McKenna. She throws the ball hard, she has good spin, and just all the experience that she got last year, I think is going to be a big difference for her this year. Reagan Breedlove, power pitcher last year as a freshman, and again,
had some real bright spots, I thought.
She did. She really did. Throws the ball hard, has a real heavy ball, and last year we would look to her to come in and close for us and come in and get 6 outs. And, she'd throw a pitch and somebody would get fisted and it's one out. Like she has that presence about her. So, and then we have 2 incoming freshmen, Stevie Hansen, who has really good movement, spins the ball well, and then Allison Benning, who throws the ball hard and has a devastating changeup. So what I like is this group, they all are very, very different. And the combinations that we're going to be able to create with them as a group, I think is going to really be a difference maker for us.
You and I have talked about this a number of times, that pitching staffs are just getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Rosters are getting larger in collegiate softball. If I'm not mistaken, and I know that COVID has had something to do with this, with around the country, everybody's a little bit deeper, but just names-wise, this has got to be one of the deeper staffs that you've had, right?
Yes, this is the deepest, for sure. You know, I mean, our 2 super seniors would have graduated if we didn't have COVID, and then you have the young freshmen coming in. So what I think is great is that our 2 freshmen are going to get to be around Brooke and to be around Jordan. I think that goes a really long way.
Do you anticipate that around the country you're going to see just a higher level of play because there's so much more depth on rosters? I mean, is that a safe assumption?
I think so. I think it's amazing how you have a freshman and then they go to their sophomore year and maybe they have a breakout year. And it's just their sophomore year, they know. There's no unknown. They get it. They know what needs to be done. They get to relax a little bit more. And so having these extra years, I think, go a long way for athletes that are returning.
Man, I can't just tell you, I'm so excited now. Just sitting here talking to you, it's like, this is going to be great. Like, it's going to be awesome to see softball. So at noon on Sunday, Oregon softball's fall ball schedule starts. What's the rest of the fall schedule for you? I mean, you guys have put together a lot of different competition dates, which has got to be great, right?
Yeah, in the month of October, we have some games that we're playing in the middle of the week, a lot of games on Sundays. But it's just, the biggest thing is just opportunity for us to take our lineup and create some different lineups and create some different looks. I think through these fall games in October, you're going to see that we've got good speed. You're going to see that we've got some power. You're going to see that we should be able to not so much play small ball, but just be able to execute situational, ball, where if we've got runners at second and third and we're able to hit a firm ground ball to the right side, the run's going to score. So just situational hitting, I think you're going to see a lot. But I just think a mature, experienced team that's hungry.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Fans, the games will be free and open to the public. Again, with the current requirements, masks are required. But free, open to the public. Sunday at noon, it starts against Oregon Tech, a 10-inning game, so you automatically get bonus softball, right? You automatically get bonus softball. Then October 17th, next Sunday, Bushnell. It'll be a doubleheader for the Ducks. October 20th on Wednesday against Western Oregon. October 24th, you guys got a number of matchups with College of Siskiyou and Southern Oregon, both in town that day. And then on Friday, it all ends on October 29th with Corbin coming to town for a doubleheader. Full schedule is on GoDucks.com if you didn't have a notepad to write down all of those dates for you. But yeah, that's free at Jane Sanders Stadium and open to fans, so come on out and enjoy some softball. And Coach, thanks for being here. This is great. It's great to catch up with you. Did we miss anything? You're just excited to be back out there?
Yeah, no, I'm just excited to be back out there. It's the normalcy has been great. It's nice to be back in your studio talking with you. Just, you can feel all of that coming, and it's been great. Our athletes are back on campus going to school, and they're excited to be back on campus.
Yeah. I
don't know if they're excited to go to school, but they're excited to be back on campus.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think if school is what it takes to be back on campus, I think they're excited. I've felt that too. Like even just seeing you, your staff, everybody else around the office again, it's starting to feel a little bit more fun, I think. I definitely feel that way. Well, Melyssa Lombardi, hey, have a great fall. We'll catch up with you again, I'm sure, and then spring can't get here soon enough. Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome stuff with Melyssa Lombardi, the Oregon softball head coach. Got a chance to catch up with her ahead of the Sunday fall ball start at noon at Jane Sanders Stadium. When we come back, we've got Derek Radley here in studio. First, though, going to learn about concussions in this week's Slocum Center Minute, something that a lot of athletes have had to deal with, and they're no joke. And when we return, we're going to talk a little golf with Derek Radley next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to the Slocum Center Minute. Slocum Center physicians are located here in Eugene and are the official orthopedic team physicians for your beloved Oregon Ducks. With me today, I have Dr. Michael Keister, who specializes in non-surgical sports medicine and is an expert in concussion management at Slocum Center for Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Dr. Keister, sports-related concussions continue to be in the news these days. Can you give us a little background on what causes concussions and if there are different types of concussions?
A concussion can be caused by any blow to the body or to the head. Anything that makes the brain shake back and forth in the skull is going to cause that brain to move around and does damage to the cells of the brain. Now, it's not a injury that we can see typically with MRIs or CAT scans. It's a cellular injury. It affects the way the brain works at a microscopic level, not how it looks on an MRI or a CAT scan. We used to talk about grades of concussions, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. We don't talk about that anymore. Is what we talk about is really more of duration of symptoms. So I'm much more concerned about somebody who has a concussion that lasts for 3-4 weeks than I am with symptoms only lasting 2 or 3 days. Now, that being said, any concussion is serious, and we try to avoid minor concussion talk, but we're much more concerned if those symptoms last longer.
This was the Slocum Center Minute, brought to you by Slocum Center for Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the official orthopedic sports medicine team physicians for University of Oregon Athletics since 1967.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon Athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear past, present, and future football watchers, football is back! So consider this your official excuse for always putting football watching first, courtesy of Pepsi. That haircut appointment? Seeing the in-laws for the first time in ages?
It's been so long!
Nope, sorry Susan, not if it's on Sunday. Long story short, after the year we've all had, we think you could use a little football watching. So crack open a Pepsi and cheer your football watching face off. With love, Pepsi. Made for football watching. That's what I like.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. It's time to talk some golf. Derek Radley's here, everybody. Oregon Women's Golf head coach. Hey, first of all, just thanks for taking the time. Congratulations on a great start to the season, and just how nice is it to be back in a somewhat regular season for your golfers?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, bud. It's been great. We've got off to a fantastic start. I'm extremely proud of our ladies. We played our first tournament in Nashville, Tennessee. Vanderbilt hosted us about a week and a half ago, and we set a program record. We shot 26 under par and won the tournament by 14 shots. So our Ducks were excited. We got to have some dinners together.
Wow.
Our ladies got to do a room together, and man, it was so fun. Coach Mo and I just sitting back and watching them thrive, and we're really proud and excited for what the season has in store.
Well, you hit on the record-setting performance for your team. I want to start there before we get to your individual who was setting records left and right.
Yeah.
You know, when you're just dominating like that, I feel like golf is a sport where it's really you against the course, right? Like
it is.
How much do you pay attention to what's happening around you in the standings? Does that change the way that you're approaching it? And the reason I ask that question is when you're just running away from the field like that, is that just the ultimate like great feeling as a coach, as a player? Like, okay, it's me against the golf course, and we can do something special.
Yeah, we talk all the time in our team meetings. The only team that can beat the Ducks are the Ducks, and you know, our slogan for that week, and we're going to keep it going for this whole year, was fearless.
Nice.
And so we wanted to come out. We knew that we had the lead. We'd actually never been in that position before. And I said, we don't need to protect anything. Let's go out and keep doing what we're doing and put the hammer down, and that's what we did.
Yeah, I was, man, following along everybody a couple weeks ago, and then this past tournament as well. I mean, a top 5 finish this past weekend. Let's actually go there for just a second. I feel like, you know, you finished top 5, and correct me if I'm wrong, it probably wasn't your guys' best weekend, and you're still a top 5 team.
Yeah, that's what I think it's kind of difficult maybe sometimes for fans to understand. There's 15 or 16 teams playing at each tournament, and so to win, it's a big deal. So that win in Nashville was actually our second team win since Coach Mo and I have been here now for four, as we begin our fourth season. But yeah, we just competed in Chicago this past season, a wonderful tournament hosted by Northwestern, and we finished 5th out of 15 teams. And we talked a lot about with our ladies. I think the exciting thing was we didn't necessarily have our A game, but we were still towards the top. And so it was a challenging golf course. The conditions were difficult. We only were able to play 8 holes in our practice round because we kept getting called off the golf course with lightning in the area. But nonetheless, they showed up and they fought for each other. And that's what I told them. I think the thing that I was most proud about last tournament was their fight. So we're excited. We head to Stanford next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not they're pretty good.
Yeah.
That's usually a pretty good outing.
Be a good test.
You're 4 years in. It seems like things are certainly trending upwards, right? Like you guys have climbed that mountain. Second program win, individual who's setting records left and right. What do you attribute the success to here 4 years in? And I know that there's a lot still ahead of you guys.
Our culture. Our ladies play for each other, and they give it everything they got. And Coach Mo and I have been preaching this since we got here. It's not necessarily about the scores that you shoot, it's about the people that you are, and we have absolutely great people. And so we have fun, a lot of fun on the golf course, but it's so fun for myself as a coach to sit back and watch, as they finish each hole, they're turning around and waving to each other. So they're always they're pushing each other, they're uplifting each other. And we have a really special team this year. I can't wait to see what they do.
Well, the expectations for the year, then I think, are high. Is that a fair assessment? You guys feel pretty good about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we always talk about all the time is managing expectations. We don't want to get too far down the road. We want to try to win each and every day. But, yeah, we missed match play last year by just 2 shots at the national championship. And to get in that top 8, and if you get in that top 8, anything can happen. And so – if you ask each one of our ladies, I would say that's their goal this year is to try to get in the top 8. Now, that being said, we need to win each and every day and go out and show up for each and every tournament and be ready to go.
Golf Week's had you guys ranked number 1, number 2, number 4,
yes.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that's a top 5 team right now. So how have you handled that as well, right? Have you talked to your team about that? Like now you guys you're kind of toward the top of that mountain. You got to handle that success.
Yeah, no question. We've been pushing to get there, and we're there. So I don't think we necessarily need to change anything. We need to still be focusing on the little things, our academics at home, making sure we get those right, making sure we're staying healthy, especially, there's still sickness out there that we need to be cautious and taking care of ourselves, getting sleep, getting rest. But they are doing those little things. And so we don't need to change anything. We just need to stay the course and give it everything we got.
Cynthia Liu, so going back to the first tournament for you guys here in the fall, a program record as an individual. Let's just say it was a historic round,
yes.
And really a historic few rounds for Cynthia Liu. Tell fans who don't know just about her performance and about her as an individual, because we're seeing something pretty special, I think.
So Cynthia is a sophomore this year. Cynthia is from Taiwan, and she is currently ranked number 31 in the amateur rankings in the world right now. Cynthia is a superstar, and she came out in our very first tournament and shot 17 under.
Jeez. Just ridiculous. Just crazy.
So her last 42 holes of that event, she went bogey-free, and in that span, she made 14 birdies.
Jeez. Those are all records for the program, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, I think the previous record for an individual was 12 under in a tournament before that. So she blazed it. And,
it's every time I've talked about this now on the show a couple times. I'm talking to you about it. I'm just you got to be you can't help but just be awed by a performance like that.
It was incredible, and that's what Coach Mo and I said. We just stayed out of her way. We were there. Hey, what you need? Which food? But she works hard, and they all do. She stayed in the U.S. for most of the summer. And the other couple from Taiwan that we have on the team as well, Heather and CCT, we call her. They stayed, and then Cynthia actually, her parents wanted to see her, so she went back and she quarantined for 15 days in a hotel in Taiwan, and then was able to see mom and dad for a month, and then turned around and came back. literally a couple days before we got season going and practice going, and she was ready to rock. So
clearly,
holy cow, yeah. But I think that's the exciting thing is they all can have that breakout week at any given time, and we talk a lot about that adds reassurance to them mentally when we're on the course, and that, man, if I'm having a rough day, I know my teammate has my back.
Sure.
And for her to go out and do that, it was so cool to see the team come out and they soaked her with water afterwards. They put some ice in it. It was pretty cold. But it's just a testament to their hard work. And I'm so proud of them, so thankful they're Ducks, and can't wait to see what they do.
So she was also we talked about this on the show yesterday. She was the Pac-12 Golfer of the Month for the month of September.
Mm-hmm.
That's only the second time in program history that's ever happened. Caroline Inglis won that award in April of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two pretty great names. I mean, just winning that award in general, especially, Coach, with how strong the Pac-12 is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an impressive honor.
It is, no question. The Pac-12 in women's golf, we've by far produced the most LPGA Tour players. And a couple weeks ago, we had the opportunity to go up and watch our senior Zahan Lin, we call her Heather. She actually competed in the Portland LPGA event. She won an exemption in that, and we got to see Caroline up there.
That's cool.
And Caroline's on the LPGA Tour now, and so thankful to have her out there representing the green and yellow, and that's our goal. I think if you ask all the ladies on our roster right now, they want to be out there, and they will be one day.
Derek Radley, Oregon women's golf head coach, joining us for a couple more minutes. So the schedule ahead, you guys are going to Stanford.
We are.
Good test, huh?
It is. Stanford is, one of the best golf courses, especially on the West Coast, and we're excited for the opportunity. It's a great field, very strong, as all the tournaments, thankfully, that we compete are. Our ladies are ready to bring it. We're going to kind of get back to the grind. They need a little bit of a rest, I think, after the first two tournaments, so making sure they get caught up on their schoolwork and everything. But we leave next Wednesday for Palo Alto, so excited for the opportunity.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday next weekend, you'll be able to follow Oregon women's golf down in Stanford. And then the Pac-12 preview is going to be here before we know it.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say, not a bad trip, huh?
No. Very thankful. We get to play at an outstanding golf course called Nanea Golf Club that hosts all the Pac-12 teams. It's how we end every fall in the beginning of November. So our lone senior, Heather, she won that tournament as an individual her freshman year. And so we know that golf course really well, and we're excited to get back because we didn't have the opportunity to do it last year. So hopefully we can get there again.
Then before you know it, it's going to be the spring, and we'll be talking about the championships for the Pac-12, national championships, and it's going to come quick.
It is.
It's going to come quick. You guys are all back in school now. How nice is it just for your student athletes to, after what's been a tumultuous year plus, just to have a more regular college experience? How valuable has that been?
It's so funny, going back to Cynthia. So Cynthia's a sophomore. She has never been to class in person yet.
Yeah, wow.
So she's saying, Coach, where do I go?
Right.
So thankfully our academic advisor, Lindsay, she took care of, all right, kiddo, here's where you got to go, and showed her. I mean, you think about that, it's crazy. But it is what it is. We always try to make the best of each situation, and I know that they're thankful to be sort of regular right now at this moment.
That's pretty great. Yeah. That's pretty great. Hey, before I let you go, best of luck. You're going to become a dad again.
Yes. Thank you very much.
So everybody needs to know that in doing this interview, we had an emergency backup plan. Monica Vaughn was on call. She was ready, assistant coach, to fill in case you had to do another job, which is go be a dad. So
my wife, Sarah, and I, we are very excited. Little girl. We have 2 boys. We moved to Oregon with 1, and now we'll have 3. So very excited, very thankful.
Hey, best of luck.
Appreciate it.
Here's to a safe and happy birth experience, because you can never take that for granted. Coach,
appreciate you, bud. Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking the time. Best of luck with juggling a lot of different things.
Yes.
How is your juggling game? Can you flip golf clubs and balls?
I can do golf balls. My wife takes care of the house. So.
Derek Radley, Oregon women's golf coach, after a record-setting start to the fall. Really looking forward to what's ahead. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of football, also get into what we're going to do on the show tomorrow. Jerry and Jorgie are going to join us, Pac-12 picks. The coin is hot on our heels in Pac-12 picks. Yeah, the coin's going to catch us. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too. Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too. Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/one small step. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you inside the Country Financial Studio. Tomorrow on the show, normally it's a Thursday feature, but we're up against the clock. We're going to do our graduated Duck, and we're going to take a look at George Moore. He has just had an outstanding career for the Ducks, and what a story for George Moore. And our graduated Duck brought to you by Graduate Eugene, the hotel here in downtown Eugene. You know, we always like to look at the ultimate goal, right? Succeeding off of the field as well, and that's what George Moore has done. And so we're going to talk about him tomorrow. I want to end today giving you some more details on that light show that is coming up at Autzen Stadium next Friday. Yeah, you know, Friday Night Lights, Under the Lights. We knew that this was going to be a night game, so we're planning for the Coming Home and Shout light show. Really important that you open your GoDucks mobile app and make sure that it's updated. Click on the menu in the top left corner. Click on Duck Lights down at the bottom of that menu. It's going to ask you to enable a couple things. Click through and give it permission to use your camera and your microphone, because the way that this technology works is over the PA system, we're going to play the songs and your phone's going to hear it, and that's what's going to sync everybody up inside the Autzen Stadium Bowl. So do that all ahead of time before you come out to Autzen Stadium on Friday for that light show. It's going to be a great time. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to make picks. Go Coin.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace.